Instant is arguably the single strongest word you can see on any Magic card, turning trash into playable and mediocre into staple. But on different cards, this word hits differently. Let's make a skill Magic players love skills, except when we have to step onto one. We have the Storm skill, Rabia skill, Harden skill, Salt scores, brackets, and all that. And today, I'm here to introduce the how much better does being instant make this card in the format of Commander's skill. Humbadabim for short. On the top end of the scale is counterspells. Yes, a sorcery counterspell would be approximately 100% worse. But what comes after it gets interesting. Just beneath counterspells, in my opinion, lie removals. Yes, I genuinely believe that spot removals are maybe 80 to 90% worse at sorcery speed, and I'm not exaggerating. Now take a look at our clickbaity thumbnail. It's actually not a clickbait for once. Feed the Swarm, currently in over 550,000 decks, is terrible. The baseline here is this: in Commander, you don't actually have to beat your opponents directly. You just have to outlast. And how do we outlast? By making the best decisions, managing our resources, and striking at the right time. And Feed the Swarm doesn't do any of that. If you blow up an opponent's creature with Feed the Swarm, that's an okay play. Only if they were planning to attack you. If not, you just helped the other two opponents and dropped your own life total to do it. In this scenario, Feed the Swarm wasn't zero value. It was negative. You were closer to winning the game before you cast it than after. Now, of course, you can mitigate that somewhat with politics, but even then, this isn't nearly as flexible and open-ended as instant speed alternatives. Think of how much better instants are than sorceries in regular 60-card format. Times that by about 10,000 and that's the difference in multiplayer. Also, yes, I get it, Feed the Swarm deals with enchantments, but now we have Withering Torment. And no, you don't need both. I mean, otherwise, how did mono black players survive before Duskmourn? Do you even need to be able to answer every threat? Is that even possible? But that's another topic. Now let's take a more immersive example to really illustrate what I mean by the importance of flexibility and open-endedness. We're going to go a little deeper. Let's look at Vindicate, which is considered a solid removal due to its flexibility. Far from its glory days, but still sees play in plenty of decks. But imagine an instant speed Vindicate. Oh wait, you don't have to. Generous Gift is pretty much that. Imagine a game with 4 players. You playing whatever black-white deck, Player A on Dragons, Player B on Artifacts, and Player C on some shifty control deck. Imagine Player A has a Wrathful Red Dragon, the best creature on the board at the moment. You want to kill it with a Vindicate before it smacks you. Doesn't seem like a terrible play. But you don't have Vindicate. You have Generous Gift, 3 open mana, and Patience. Pass the turn. On their first main phase, Player A drops a Cavern Horde Dragon, swings that at Player B because, artifacts. And the Wrathful Red Dragon, unfortunately, comes at you. Now things have changed. The dynamics are completely different. We have to reevaluate. 3 lines. Do we stop Player A from connecting with the Cavern Horde Dragon and further develop their board state? Or save ourselves from the Red Dragon damage? Or we can just do nothing and keep our options open and see what happens. The decision here depends on our life total, our cards in hand, and what our opponents have on board. But whatever decision we make now, it will be better and probably more educated than vindicating the Red Dragon at first. Now let's say we decide to let it all happen. Player A uses the extra treasure to drop a Dragon Tempest and passes the turn. Now this is getting scary. Player B untaps and plays an Oblivion Stone, threatening to wipe the board. But they don't want to because they have some decent artifacts as well. Player C plays a land and passes, holding up their mana. Now I know at this point we're turning into command zone extra turns, but at least our turns are scripted, so you know it's quality. Now at the end of player C's turn, you have decisions to make. Do you want to take a more proactive turn and drop some permanents from your hand? If yes, then you can choose to Generous Gift the Oblivion Stone, forcing them to crack it before your turn comes. If not, then you can continue to wait and keep our options open. The turn comes, we don't want to commit too much because of the stone. But we want a blocker, so we drop one that we don't mind losing too much. Say, a Grateful Apparition. Just a blocker in case the dragon player decides to come at us. Now, we pass the turn, still holding on to the Generous Gift. Player A untaps and puts an Atsushi, the Blazing Sky, onto the stack. Good play. This can continue to pressure the board and isn't the worst card to lose to the board wipe. Player B passes priority. Now you can choose to Generous Gift the Dragon Tempest and minimize damage. I mean, who knows what they'll target and swing at with the haste. Fine choice, but let's say you don't do that. Dragon Tempest triggers and 3 damage is pointed at you. It seems like they're trying to appease the artifact player to keep the Oblivion Stone on hold for another turn. Reasonable?
And as they declare combat, you again can choose to destroy the Oblivion Stone, making it now or never for player B, or save it for the dragon coming at you. Or do nothing, again. And I think we've seen enough. Thanks to the instant speed option, we had about 15 more decisions to make. Now, if we think of each good decision we make in a game as adding to our chance of winning, and each poor decision detracting from it, here we can visualize the difference between instant speed and sorcery speed. These decisions may range from terrible to game winning, but many are probably better than killing the wrathful red dragon in the beginning. In Commander, time is money. Taking your time and finding the best window to fire off something will not only increase our chance of winning, but also makes us better players in the long run.
With sorcery speed, you lose all of that, and can oftentimes make plays that hurt you more than it helps. Now, how does this translate to board wipes? Very well. Almost everything said above applies to Wrath of God versus Rout, except the difference in impact between a well-timed wipe and a poorly timed one is even bigger. A cleverly placed Rout can easily win games. And this is why I have Final Showdown in the highest tier of Commander board wipes alongside Farewell. And despite being 25 years old, Rout is just one tier beneath those two for me. The word instant is just worth a lot of mana. I'm not sure how much exactly, but personally I would play a 3 mana Generous Gift over a 1 mana Vindicate in most decks. Although I should also mention that being overly reactive can definitely cost you the game. I know because I often find myself going a little bit too far being reactive. The further you pull a rubber band, the harder it will hit, but it can also snap back at you if you go too far. Finding your sweet spot between proactive and reactive is also something quite interesting to explore, and as far as I know, most other popular TCG games don't have this kind of depth. Instants are magic. That's all. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Did I cook or did I burn down the kitchen? See you in the next video.